Okay, we're live.
Welcome everyone to the CAPC workshop for July 15th at 5 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order.
Oh, she's printing stuff.
So first, we've got a lot of information here from Paradise. We can go over this. If you guys will look at this, this is the campaign. This is kind of a recap from 6 months of recap here. What I really found kind of pretty interesting is that over 12 million impressions in 6 months. Now this is a various of vendors, a various of digital, email, banners on websites, different things that they're doing here. 12 million impressions, 80,000 clicks, videos started and videos fully played. Click rate is really good at 0.63. So you can see on the next page, Expedia here, our return on ad is 6.1. That's a pretty good rate. So anyway, y'all can look at that if you have any questions.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
No.
And then we have Expedia here also. This next part here is Expedia, and it kind of shows some more of this right here. This is for last month.
Is there another one of those packets?
If it's not in yours, then are we missing one?
Oh,
Okay.
Musical chair.
thank you.
And so this is for June. This next part here, this is June's report here, and you can see we're still in line here. Our ad spend was 6.3 thousand. On our spend, here's our clicks, room nights, 342. I think that I think a lot of people don't really know how much we do with Expedia, but there's a lot of marketing that we do with Expedia that really drives a lot of these bookings, and so
Wow.
we can continue on. You tell me when I'm going too fast, or you want me to stop?
No,
okay?
no.
Go ahead.
If you look at this next page here, you can
What
see
page number?
this.
Oh,
I'm in the Expedia.
okay,
I'm on the third page of the Expedia report.
okay.
Well, get down here.
And Ron's got it up here too. He's right in line with
Okay.
it. So, you can see on here, trip duration here at the bottom, where 1 to 2 days is 81% of our stayers.
Wow.
We are 18.6, 3 to 5 days. And then one of the things I found interesting here was family. We're at 20%, where multi-adult, which I think is right in line with what we see. Like that's what we see in the coffee house, is we see a lot of adults that come in groups, whatever they are. We see a lot of that. And then 4.8 is single. So we don't have any packages currently on Expedia. It's all standalone, so that's 100% on there. You can also see how they're booking 0 to 6 day, the travel window, 45%, 0 to 6.
Wow.
So there's a lot of good information in these, and I just want you guys to, I sent this out to you yesterday. Please take time to dig around in them. And of course, Paradise is always available to you guys. James, that was for something else. That's from Rick. We're not even going through that today.
Jeff, is there any chance you could get 4 copies to the other city council members? I'm sure they would love to see this.
How about if I just email it out?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect, thank
I
you.
did send an email, as you guys saw, sent an email to the city council, kind of updating them on some of this. Communications an area we know we all need to work on. And then if you get into this is the Paradise report right here, this next group. The first page is just their marketing services. We're all aware of that. And then this media overview page here, you can see our spend here, which is 51.6. The video completion rate continues for us to be very high. That's higher than average. Average would probably be in the 70, maybe 75%. Our impressions we've been doing about 3 million impressions a month. They're down a little bit, but so is our spend. So it's kind of in correlation to the two. Total clicks is also on that page. And then we kind of get into some of the more stuff about Facebook engagements here. Facebook reach is 42,000. Post engagements, 3,350. I've had a lot of people ask me questions about why are we doing the organic posts. We're picking up organic posts. For example, if somebody's in James's restaurant or they're in Mud Street and they post from your restaurant and they tag us, we're picking those up. That's an organic post, and we're reposting that. The reason why that we're actually doing that, or the reason why Paradise is doing that, is because people will trust your customer 90% more than they trust your advertisement. And so, for example, if our guest is in a restaurant and they take a picture in that restaurant, and then somebody else sees that, they're going to trust the advice of that customer more than they're going to trust just a stale picture that you posted or I posted of my business of coffee or whatever it is, right? And so the organic posts get a lot more traction because the customers trust them more,
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
right? And so more of this is just the same. Facebook ads, this page is from our ads here. Post engagement on the Facebook ads is 96,000 plus. Impressions, 358,000. Again, this is all happening in a month. I mean, these are impressions and these are clicks that we all get in a month. That's how people know to get here, is all of this campaigning that we're doing online.
Jeff, we're down a little tiny bit. Why, for June? Is it just a slower month?
I think I specifically asked that, and the impressions and the post engagements are down a little bit, and I think it's because we spent less money. We're transitioning between quarter 2 and quarter 3. And so
Okay.
there was a little less spend this time. So I think that, but I'll show you something that's interesting. So if you go to this page, and I know this is
Next
the,
one.
the page and Facebook pages here, and it's the page engagement. You can see that we're actually, in our engagements, we're actually still up. So we spent less
Okay.
money. We actually had more engagements than we did the previous month by 14%, even though we spent less money. And my opinion is that's probably because people were traveling a lot for 4th of July, and they were probably engaged. That's just my opinion. We are also, our organic post reach, we're up 35%, 425,000. So that's pretty good. You can see there's some graphs over here that will show you some of that. Followers by age is here. Followers by gender is also in here. And you can see most of our followers here, 84% are female, 16% are male. So it's pretty telling, pretty big. Just more, you guys can just tell me what you want to talk about. Some of this is Instagram. If you look, it's the same kind of story with Instagram. We have total followers, 22,831. Our account activity, new visits up. Reach was down a little bit, but we're trending there within a few points. Total engagements, 12,656.
We need to do a roll call, and
This is a workshop?
this is the workshop.
Yeah. This
Sorry.
is a workshop, so we're all friendly here.
It's my thyroid.
Yeah.
I'm on the Facebook video. You can see our videos are doing well.
Wow.
123,000 in the month. Page reach was up, and it was 844. So and you guys can just tell me what the Twitter, it all kind of falls in line there. I don't want to go too deep into this stuff, but you guys can look at it. And there is, towards the end of this, there's website stats here.
Looking at the picture of these stairs, that's the
Rainbow
most
stairs.
photographed place in town. There's some plan on painting the other stairs there next to,
Correct.
My
Do-
understanding is they have a plan to paint the stairs next to, that's a street. It's Basin,
yeah.
that's a street with those
All the
stairs.
stairs are streets.
The one next to the New Delhi.
Next to New Delhi there, yeah.
I wonder what they're going to do with it.
I actually haven't heard, Molly, was that did they talk about those stairs? You want to step up and tell us, since this is a workshop, and you guys can continue to look through this, and anything you have questions on, I'll try to answer.
I think they also talked about doing another set of rainbow stairs, but they're still kind of talking about it.
I was thinking about piano keys.
The website is doing pretty well. Sessions were 96,383. I think, Karen, you're answering the, what's that little chat box thing? How's that going? You want to update us on how that is, how's customers, and how frequently are you doing that?
Well, I don't count them, but it's all day, every day.
Yeah.
And they ask questions anywhere from what time do the shops open, what time do they close. They ask questions about specific businesses that I try real hard to just answer their specific question.
Sure.
I get a lot of, where's the best place to stay? Where's the best place to eat?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, so.
Good. Very good. One thing that's interesting on the website, I found this really interesting, right? You look over here at the users by region, which is on the right side here of this page. I would think that Arkansas has almost always been number one, but right now Texas is number one for users by region. Those are people that are on our website. 15,121. It's up 14%. You can see Arkansas up 15. I mean, our top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 states that are hitting all of those are up. 24, 7%, 9%, 11%, 7%, 7%, 10%, 15%, 14%. That's pretty significant jumps in all those states. But I was still surprised that Texas was number one.
You know, the parking stats,
Parking stats.
the parking
you guys see
stats
those? I don't
reflect
have-
this.
Parking stats, roughly passport parking, and I think, does Sandy send those to you guys? Okay, so you've probably seen them. Parking stats were about double. I mean, they were significantly higher than 2019. We're not even looking at 2020, so 2019. And so I got a feeling James is getting a lot closer to his parking garage.
That's a significant jump in Louisiana. I mean, it's only 1,500 people, but a 24% increase in Louisiana.
That's huge.
We targeting any more advertising there, or is that just a fluke?
Well, I'll ask them specifically about Louisiana. They're not with us tonight. I didn't actually request them, but they're going to be at our next regular meeting. So let me specifically ask them, and they're probably watching, so I'm sure we'll get but yeah, Louisiana, 24%. So we might want to consider that a hot spot of us to maybe consider more.
It's hot as hell down there right now. They take their vacations in the summer and go north.
Well, then everybody from Washington, Oregon, and California would be here.
I mean, it's regularly hot down in Louisiana.
So yeah, interesting. And California, the only state that we're trending down with, 4%. Wow. PR, they continue to do public relations for us. You guys have seen some of the, the best, smallest town kind of stuff that comes out. That's the kind of stuff they work on for us. They're constantly working to get those things for us here.
Right.
And you've seen some of those, and we've posted some of those out. And that's kind of really it. I mean, you guys can look through that, and obviously Paradise is available to you guys at any time to call them. They've been kind of fantastic. Okay,
So I just have a quick question.
absolutely.
Yesterday in the Democrat Gazette, there was a really good article about our trails. Is that something that they did, or is that something that we just happened to luckily get?
let me-
I tried to print it off on my printer, and it didn't print well, but there was lots of pictures, and it was about some women riders, and it was just a really great article. It was in the outdoor section.
Okay.
So I was just curious if that's something they did.
I'll put that on there and find out, because I'm not obviously aware of everything they do, and I don't have time to
Sure.
keep up with all.
It could be parks.
Go to, be sure to check out the blogs, okay? There's, on our website, Ron, can you pull up our website and go to blogs, and let's look at the blogs that they're doing? We're doing 2 to 3 blogs a month, and they're about various, they actually released one today. And I encourage you guys to look at those and read them. They're all really good. So this is 36 hours in Eureka Springs, and that's if you're in town for 36 hours. Here's a way to make most of that time. And, we won't read all this, but you guys can go through this and you can see, and they have links to places to eat. They have links to places to stay and things to do, all on here. This is the latest one. It just came out. And then here's 8 amazing dishes. Outdoor activities. Instagram, pictures, spots, springs.
How much of our architecture do they promote? I mean, we've got a significant architecture for any small town in America. When you consider the historic buildings in Thorn Crown Chapel.
So that's what I did today is I asked them sort of that question. I asked them about the potential for a blog on our historic hotels, which would go right into that architecture. Now, I only make a recommendation to them, they make a recommendation back to the commission, right?
And we were
So
just in Architectural Digest, too.
And that was something that they worked on.
They did that.
Yep,
Yeah.
they got us that.
I have seen one on Thorn Crown, for sure, remember?
Yeah, so I encourage you guys, those are all happening, that's stuff that's happening, and they're all really good blogs. And that, we'll continue that the rest of the year, we'll have 2 to 3 blogs a month going out for everyone to see. What else? Any other thoughts on marketing? I'll see if I can. Okay. So that leads us to, I want us to, we're trending up in our budget, and, we're up,
Yeah,
let me see here, 21%. Is that right, Rick? We're up about 21%. And so, third quarter's already here. I'm curious if you guys want to think about something for the fourth quarter, which is traditionally, like last meeting, what James said I thought was correct, we kind of fall off a cliff. What can we do what kind of programs can we do for December to help tourism? Since we have a surplus, we're above and use some of that surplus. Are you guys interested in putting something together?
At the Arts Council meeting, they talked a little bit about a project for Basin Park that would look great really all year long, but an artist had submitted an idea about doing fireflies. They're fairly large, like the size of a toddler, that would be put like up in trees and things in the park. And they could be solar and even work in the shade and in the winter time. But they talked about maybe using them as something, that could go all year, but change lighting during Christmas. And they had a couple of other kind of interesting projects that were offered that I think could be a draw. They had quite a few people apply for the grants they had, and more than they have funding for. Sandy'd probably come and, talk about that if we were interested in something like that.
Would it be possible to extend the music coverage during the Christmas season throughout town? I know that a lot of shopping districts do that. It would require some infrastructure and agreement on the parts of the merchants, but I just thought I'd put that out there because it has been brought up in the past. And,
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
that sounds good.
One of the best ways to bring people into town for shopping that time of year, not necessarily heads and beds, but is most of the local schools, choruses and bands
Yeah.
are prepared to do concerts around that time of year.
I'm talking about ambient music, so
No.
we'd have to extend speakers up and down Spring Street and, play at a low volume. It would just be ambient
Oh, got
music.
it.
Yeah.
Like carolers or?
Not live performance.
Not
yeah,
live. He's talking
Christmas
about
music.
just
Oh,
anyway.
just music,
Just
just
music.
music. Got it, okay.
Spotify, whatever.
I'm going to continue to talk about the Polar Express, and I know it would take the Dorches being on board with it, but I wonder if somehow we knew what it would cost, if we covered their cost. I just think it would bring a lot of people to town.
Very
I know I took all my grandbabies to the one over in Branson, and not only did they love it, but it is jam-packed, sold out. And I think if we could do just some like little version of it, and I understand if the Dorches don't want to spend the money to do it, but if
Right.
we had a little excess that we could spend and say, hey, we'll cover the cost of, I don't know what it costs to run a train, obviously, but, whatever your employee cost is, whatever it costs to run the train, we'll cover that. And I just think it would be interesting to see what kind of people we would get here if they knew they could bring their kids and do a little Polar Express and have a Santa at the end and take pictures. And I just think people would love it.
I think that's a great idea, Bobby, and I think we should look into that.
Yeah.
We're going to be hiring our director next week, and I think we should get with them. And I think that's an excellent idea because, Rick, is the Preservation Society going to have a house tour this year?
Tentative yet?
They're
Yes, they
thinking
are.
about it. Okay,
Yes.
good deal.
You run a risk when you start subsidizing a business, so that's a pretty delicate balance you're going to have to do, because if they profit off of, if it's a direct profit of us pouring money into someone else's business, then everybody else is going to get in line.
We could just offer to advertise for them.
I think we did that last year, and they declined.
Okay.
They declined.
But maybe there's some, and I understand what you're saying, James, and I get that. Maybe there'd be some balance.
If we rent their train, is that contributing?
I don't know.
Well,
I just think
that-
it would be a big draw,
Yeah.
personally.
Well, let's,
I agree without a doubt. That's
Yeah.
probably, if we want to make Christmas season work, it's something like that would do it.
And if we went it rented, it wouldn't be a,
Right.
Well, maybe we could look at it legally and,
I
Yeah.
did, I actually worked with them on that last year, and they are excited about that. One of the brothers had a health issue, so they couldn't make it happen last year, but they are open to doing it.
Okay.
And I don't
Cool.
know what it looks like full bore, but they think it's a great idea, too.
yeah.
okay, wonderful.
We usually, we have our home tour and Christmas parade. If we could extend that whole thing to like a festival for about 10 days, I think it'd be great.
Okay.
Would anybody like to reach out to them?
First, I think we need to figure out legally
Yeah.
what
Right.
we could do. I think James has a good point there. We
And
don't
then-
want to start subsidizing every business in town, but if there was a way to rent it, or if there was a way to where, I don't
Yeah.
know. Or if they're just, Rick, if you wouldn't mind reaching out again, if they would be interested. Maybe there's no more to go. Maybe they just this year say, hey, yeah, we'll do it.
I'm glad to. I speak with them all the time. so
Okay.
Okay.
That's not a
Okay.
problem.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other ideas there? I did ask Paradise to think about what kind of additional marketing they could do. for December, so we're waiting we should hear from them in our next regular meeting on maybe a recommendation from them as well. Any other thoughts? I did reach out to a company called Bates Events. They're in Northwest Arkansas, and they've done a lot of events for, Walmart Foundation and a lot of big companies, okay? I don't know if they can help us or not, to be honest with you. They are willing, though, to meet with us to see if they were to put together a December program for the city, they would run it as an event, professional event, and then we would support it locally with the new tourism director and with Molly and the staff. Rick and Karen would support it. But in order for us to do that, I'm going to need an approval from you guys, because just the consulting fee for them is $500. And I'm on the fence one way or the other. I'm just wanting to bring ideas to you guys so that we're doing everything that we can to try to bring tourism to town. So
Well, I'd like to see what they've done before.
I'll send you a link to their stuff, and you can take a look at it, and we can talk about it again and vote on it if you want to next week.
What's it called, Bates?
Bates Events, and Amy Bates is who I've been talking to. She's the owner. And Ron, will you do a search? I was trying to get on her website earlier, and the website was down, but you might find them on Facebook. It's Amy Bates Events.
At the Arts Council meeting yesterday, they mentioned that there is a new couple, I believe, that have moved into town who have quite a large collection of, do you remember? Anyway, I understand they're very expensive Christmas decorations, and they have actually 2 different displays, and they're looking for a place to put it. They've talked to the theater downtown, and they're considering it. They just don't know if they're going to have space for it. It's something that has to be housed inside, but they want to just let us use it, something for the city. So, and it's apparently a kind of a big deal to see it. It looked pretty nice from the pictures.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do a little more research on some of that, and I'll send out a link to Bates Events, and you guys can do your own investigation if you want to, and then we can decide if we want to spend the money to see what they might be able to help us with. Okay. You guys got anything else about marketing or any of that? If not, we'll move on to event.
We might be able to coordinate with the community center for something like what you're talking about, Carol, because they've got lots of space up there in the gym. They've got plenty of parking,
Okay.
which we got to try to take advantage of somehow.
And then I've got for us to just get an update on events. Carol, you're on the council now for Festival of Arts, is that?
I've just been going in the interim, I think, now that Holly's here.
And I think Molly also was there. I know there's not, is there any update there that we need to be aware of? Festival of Arts, it's all happening in November?
So with Festival of the Arts, it's not just contained to one weekend now. It's going to kind of go on from November, I think, until towards the end of the year. So that'll be kind of spread out with themed weekends honoring like painting and glass art and culinary. So there's more to come on that.
Okay. And then while you're here, Molly, you have been working on the concert series. You and Ron have worked on this, and everybody has some of these. Oh, those yours. Everybody has these now?
Yeah, so we started that July 4th, and that's going to go until September 17th. And there's the complete lineup. Finally got that all together, got that poster from Right Mind. It's going to be about once a week around the weekends, and we had $25,000 to spend on that, and we booked that in about 3 weeks.
We started promoting this yesterday, right? This
Yes,
actual-
Paradise has it in their hands now.
Okay. Any questions on the concert series?
Looks great.
Greg, did you want to ask a question?
No,
about this?
I'm fine with what I asked.
Okay.
That's some good talent.
Yeah,
hearing great things about it.
Are they going to do any drumming in the park before the end of the year? Is it,
yes,
okay? Because people have been asking.
yeah. Drumming in the Park. I think we're going to have dates soon. I think it's going to be in September.
Yeah, the mayor's holding it off until September.
You said you had 25,000 to spend,
Yes.
but how much are all these bands? I'm just curious.
It kind
They're all
of,
different?
we had about 3,000 for tech, and then the rest went to the bands. Some are more than others, so we kind of had to even that out with like maybe one band on one date and then maybe three on another, so to kind of even out the talent and make it all a good show.
Gotcha.
And Molly has a budget, so she has a budget that she's working with.
Yeah.
Will you send that out to everybody?
Of course.
Send
Yeah.
that budget so everybody can see?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, yeah. Okay.
Well, exceptional job, Molly. Thank you,
Thank
thank you.
And then I just asked, Molly was at the HOE meeting Tuesday, and there's a lot of other events, Christmas events, and so I'm just going to let you run down those
Yeah.
generically of events that will be going on at Christmas this year.
Yeah, so Lacey Moffett kind of shared with me just the general events that she has on her radar. So we're going to start out with the Christmas Parade December 4th, Living Windows December 10th through 11th, the Jingle Bell Stroll December 17th, the Ugly Sweater Contest December 18th, and then from December 1st through the 25th is going to be the Living Advent Calendars in the windows of the downtown shops.
Oh, cool. Well, thank Lacey for that.
Yeah, those are a group effort to get those done.
And did I hear they're going to leave the ferry doors up? That's another project they're kind of doing with Arts Council, right?
I think they're going to leave those up, I think as long as the merchants, I think they agreed until late November, but they're going to try to work on keeping them up longer.
Any other events? I mean, we do have October and November events, but
For now, I think we're just focused on Christmas and the HOA meeting, but I can get the rest.
Pumpkin carving contest.
okay. And then on all of our workshops and all of, auditorium is, and I know that we just talked about this, but I've got the auditorium on here for us to continue our discussions. And Ron and Rick probably know this. Do we have a basic list of what we need to get repaired immediately? Did we get a list of immediate repairs? Ron's coming over.
No, we spoke about it. We did not make a list, but that could be done pretty quickly.
Okay.
I can email it to you guys.
Okay, so we'll get that list and we'll get that started. And I'm just going to keep the auditorium on our agenda until we get it where we're going.
Really,
Some of the
briefly,
music,
just
there's the
management
schedule.
structure,
Okay.
rooms clean and auditorium clean thoroughly were the big three as far as opening. And of course, staff.
An attempt to stop some of the leaks.
Yeah, I'm just talking about getting open and video shows.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, well, that's it for our workshop. If you guys don't have anything else you want to talk about on that, then we're done with that, and we'll start our meeting in a few minutes. We do have Marshall Tucker, too. This is Larry's show. Marshall